My friend, you won't believe what just came out. Amidst the chaos, the criticism, the plummeting season, and the end-of-the-line atmosphere, a single U.S. state has just proven that not all hope is lost for the Raiders. Something happened far from Las Vegas, something no one noticed, but that could completely change the team's fate this Sunday. And the craziest part? I got exclusive behind-the-scenes information, details that haven't appeared anywhere else yet. If this is confirmed, it could be the turning point that no one in the NFL expected. But before revealing why this state rekindled the flame of hope and how this could save the season, like, subscribe, and activate the bell, because what I'm about to show you could be the beginning of the Raiders' redemption, and you need to hear every detail. While the Raiders prepare for another high-pressure Sunday, the atmosphere in Las Vegas feels almost suffocating. A season that once carried a quiet optimism now hangs by a thread, with every play, every possession, every mistake potentially rewriting the fate of 2025. The standings tell a story, a grim one, but the emotional weight of this weekend tells something far heavier. It's not just about winning a football game. It's about avoiding the kind of symbolic defeat that fans remember for years. Because losing to a rookie quarterback you could have drafted, that's the kind of defeat that echoes throughout the franchise. However, in a twist that almost no one predicted, there's a genuine spark of hope breaking through the darkness. Not blind hope, not fan fiction optimism. Real, measurable, analytical hope. The kind that arises from head-to-head matchups, trends, and small gaps in the opponent's defense. CBS sports analyst Jared Dubin laid out the plan clearly, and the Raider Nation has every reason to pay attention. Dubin pointed out something the league hasn't discussed enough. The Cleveland Browns aren't the same team when they play on the road. At home, they seem calm, disciplined, almost suffocating on defense. But on the road, they've allowed 23 points or more in every road game this season. And while the Raiders' offense isn't exactly a powerhouse, that vulnerability opens a door, even if it's only ajar. This matters because, despite the chaos of the last few weeks, the Raiders' defense has shown it can exceed expectations. Before the blowout loss to the Cowboys on Monday night, a performance so atypical it almost seemed like an isolated case, the defense was the group that kept Las Vegas competitive in most games. They were quick, they were physical, they were disciplined, they forced turnovers. They breathed life into this team when the offense couldn't. And that brings us directly to defensive coordinator Patrick Graham, the man who now carries the weight of the entire season on his shoulders. On Thursday, Graham explained the challenge ahead. With almost no NFL video of rookie quarterback Sanders, the Raiders can't rely on their usual preparation. Instead, Graham and his team have been scouring every available piece of video. Preseason plays, isolated snaps against the Ravens, trends from head coach Tommy Rees and offensive architect Kevin Stefanski. It's like preparing for a shadow, but Graham isn't hesitating. He knows exactly where Cleveland will try to attack. Not with flashy long passes, not with fancy plays, but with their powerful and experienced offensive line and their group of tough, relentless running backs. Their system is run-based, Graham emphasized. It always has been, and they're going to rely on that. That means Sunday's game turns into a trench warfare. And if the Raiders want to stay alive, their defense needs to rediscover the grit that defined them early in the season. They need to break through defenses, gain space, force long third downs, and put Sanders in uncomfortable situations he hasn't yet experienced. This is the kind of game where a forced fumble, a deflected interception, an aggressive stop on a short third down can change everything. This matchup isn't glamorous. It's not full of spectacular plays. It's survival football, and sometimes that's where the Raiders excel. But here's the twist the Raider Nation can't ignore. This small spark of hope on the field is overshadowed by a storm growing from it, because the problems corroding this franchise go far beyond a Sunday game or a rookie quarterback. While the defense struggles to keep the team alive, the organization itself wages a much deeper and darker internal battle, one that threatens to reshape the entire foundation of the team. If the first part of this update revealed a spark of hope on the field for the Raiders, the second part exposes a much deeper problem, one that no defensive performance or surprising Sunday victory can solve. While the players struggle to remain competitive, the Raiders' leadership structure is unraveling, and tension surrounding the franchise has reached boiling point. After yet another loss, the 8th of the 2025 season, Las Vegas doesn't just seem defeated on the field, it seems lost off it. The biggest problem of all, Coach Pete Carroll may no longer be the man capable of leading in this future time. When the Raiders fell 2-8 after the collapse on Monday night against the Cowboys, many expected a change in philosophy. With the playoffs practically out of mathematical reach, this was the time to change. Give younger players real opportunities, build for 2026, and assess who deserves to be part of the core long term. But Carroll made one thing painfully clear. He has no intention of doing that. When questioned about about the possibility of giving opportunities to young talents, he reiterated his traditional mantra: winning comes first, even in a season where victories no longer translate into progress. And then came the statement that shook the fans. Carroll openly admitted that he doesn't know how to coach in a way that prioritizes development over winning. This admission, however honest, reveals why the Raiders are in crisis. He is a borrowed figure in NFL history, but at the moment he is a coach made for a time that seeks the Lombardi Trophy, not for one that desperately tries to rebuild its identity. Which leads us to the most uncomfortable truth. Pete Carroll is no longer the right coach for this era of Raiders football. It seems he knows it too. Everything indicates that, behind the scenes, it's being discreetly called an amicable separation after the season. A polite way of saying that the Raiders will allow him to gracefully step aside to protect his legacy, rather than summarily firing him. But if Carroll's departure seems surprising, the next question becomes even more daunting. Who will replace him? Mo Moton of Bleacher Report presented a six-step plan to rebuild the franchise in 2026. And the first step was simple: let Carroll go. But the second step surprised fans. Moton suggests that the Raiders aggressively pursue Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, to be their next head coach. Yes, another coach from Seattle. Yes, another gamble on a candidate with no proven experience. And yes, another moment of deja vu for a fan base tired of risky signings. Kubiak is only 38 years old and has already served on 4 coaching staffs in 4 seasons. While he currently leads one of the NFL's most explosive offenses in Seattle, there are still doubts about whether he's truly ready to lead an entire franchise. Success as a coordinator doesn't automatically translate to success as a head coach, especially at a time as daunting as the Raiders. Moton argues that Tom Brady, a minority owner of the team, and general manager Spytek should strongly push for his hiring, believing that Kubiak's youth, modern offensive system, and quarterback-friendly approach could be the spark Las Vegas needs. And admittedly, he fulfills some of the requirements the Raiders desperately need: creativity, adaptability, and the ability to develop a young quarterback from the start. But the list of candidates didn't improve much from there. The next name to be mentioned is Joe Brady, offensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. Once hailed as a prodigy of the college football era after his work with Joe Burrow at LSU in 2019, Brady's brilliance is no longer the same. He didn't develop Josh Allen from scratch, and the Bills' 2025 offense has regressed, raising serious questions about his ability to build and maintain a successful system in Las Vegas, with the Raiders clinging to a fragile spark of hope on the field, facing a rookie quarterback they could have drafted, and with Pete Carroll's future crumbling as the franchise considers risky replacements like Clint Kubiak or Joe Brady. Do you believe the real turning point for this winning time in Sunday's game, or the coach's decision, is the one attempting to reshape the entire future of Las Vegas? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Raiders news.